Have you ever sat down in a deep, comfortable armchair, perhaps at a friend's house or in a hotel lobby, and when the time came to leave, you found yourself having to rock back and forth once or twice just to get enough momentum to stand up? It's a subtle moment, one that passes quickly, but it's often the very first whisper from your body that something fundamental is changing. We tend to dismiss these moments. We tell ourselves we were just stiff from sitting too long, or that the chair was too low, or that we are simply tired. But if we are honest with ourselves, that brief moment of hesitation, that split second where you have to think about your balance before taking a step, is a signal. It's your body telling you that the reserve of strength you have relied on since your 20s is quietly beginning to drain away. It's a conversation no one likes to have, but it's the most important one we can share. After we cross the threshold of 50, our physiology shifts. We enter a phase where our bodies naturally want to shed muscle tissue. It isn't because you're doing anything wrong, it's simply biology. We can lose a tiny percentage of our muscle mass every single year. At first, you don't feel a 1% loss, you don't feel 2%, but over a decade, that compounds into a significant reduction in power, stability, and confidence. The dangerous part isn't the number on a medical chart. The dangerous part is that we often don't realize this is happening until a simple misstep on an uneven sidewalk turns into a stumble, or reaching for a heavy dish on a high shelf feels precariously shaky. Now, I know what many of you are thinking right now because I hear it all the time. You might be thinking, but I'm active. I walk every day. I take the dog out. I walk to the shops. I stay moving. And let me be clear, walking is wonderful. It's fantastic for your heart. It clears your mind. It keeps your joints lubricated, and it's great for managing your weight. Please never stop walking. However, we need to be realistic about what walking can and cannot do. Walking is an endurance activity. It maintains what you already have to a certain degree, but it does not demand enough from your muscles to convince them to grow stronger. It does not send a loud enough signal to your bones to increase their density. Relying solely on walking to preserve your independence is a bit like expecting to save for retirement by simply checking your bank balance every day. It keeps you aware, but it doesn't build your wealth. To build physical wealth, which is your strength and stability, we need to give the body a slightly different stimulus. We need to introduce targeted movement that mimics the real-world challenges you face every day. We're going to explore 3 specific movements today. These are not complicated gym routines. You don't need to wear spandex, and you certainly don't need expensive equipment. These are functional movements designed to keep you independent, to keep you safe, and to ensure that you can continue doing the things you love, whether that's gardening, traveling, or playing with your grandchildren. Let's start with the foundation of your independence, the legs and the hips. The first movement is what we call the sit to stand, or for those who want a technical term, the chair squat. But let's forget the exercise terms and think about the function. Think about how many times a day you stand up. You stand up from the breakfast table, from the car seat, from the toilet, from the park bench. This action requires the largest muscles in your body, the quadriceps in your thighs, the hamstrings, and the glutes to work in perfect coordination. As we age, we tend to spend more time sitting, and these muscles can essentially go to sleep. When they weaken, we start using our arms to push off the armrests, or we use momentum to swing ourselves up. That is a slippery slope. To practice this, you need a sturdy chair. Place it against a wall so it won't slide. Sit forward slightly so you aren't leaning against the backrest. Place your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Now here's the secret sauce. I want you to mentally focus on your heels. When you're ready to stand, do not swing your upper body. Instead, lean forward just a little at the hips, keeping your chest proud, and drive firmly down through your heels to stand up tall. Exhale as you rise. Feel your thighs working. Once you're standing, pause. Take a breath. Own that position. Then, and this is crucial, lower yourself back down slower than you came up. Do not flop into the chair. Control the descent. That slow lowering phase is actually where the most strength is built.
If you can do this 8 to 10 times in a row, resting when you need to, you're telling your body that it still needs to be strong enough to lift its own weight. If you need to use your hands on your thighs at first, that's perfectly fine. The goal is to eventually do it hands-free. This isn't just exercise, it's independence training. It ensures that when you want to get up and go, your body says yes immediately. Now, let's move to the second pillar of our health, balance. If strength is the engine, balance is the steering wheel. You can be strong, but if you cannot stabilize that strength, you're at risk. We used to think that falls were just bad luck, a loose rug or a slippery patch of ice, but the research tells us a different story. Falls often happen because the microscopic communication between your brain and your stabilizing muscles has slowed down. When you trip, your body has milliseconds to correct itself. If those pathways are rusty, gravity wins.
The exercise to fix this is the single leg balance hold. This sounds simple, but it is profound. I want you to stand near a kitchen counter or a solid wall. Safety is our priority here. Stand tall, shoulders relaxed. Shift your weight completely onto one leg. Notice how that supporting leg has to firm up. Now lift the other foot just an inch off the ground. You don't need to lift it high like a flamingo. Just hovering is enough. Your goal is to hold this position for about 10 to 20 seconds. You will likely feel your ankle wobbling. You might feel your foot twitching. Here is the important part. Do not be afraid of the wobble. The wobble is good. The wobble is your brain waking up those dormant connections. It is your nervous system recalibrating. If you need to keep a fingertip on the counter, do it. If you need to keep your lifted toe lightly touching the floor, do that. Progress is personal. As you get better, you can lift the hand off the counter. Practice this while you are waiting for the kettle to boil or while you are brushing your teeth. By challenging your balance in a controlled, safe environment, you are preparing your body for the chaos of the real world. You are building a buffer zone so that if you do stumble on a cracked pavement, your body instinctively knows how to catch you. It is about confidence. When you trust your balance, you walk differently. You look up at the world rather than down at your feet. The third component we must address is the upper body and bone density. There is a misconception that upper body strength is just for people who want to look good at the beach. That is nonsense. Upper body strength is for carrying groceries without strain. It is for pushing open a heavy door at the post office. It is for lifting a suitcase into an overhead locker. And, heaven forbid, if you do fall, it is the strength required to catch yourself or push yourself back up. Furthermore, we need to load our bones to keep them dense. Bones are living tissue. They respond to pressure by becoming harder. We're going to use the wall push-up. Floor push-ups are often too aggressive for wrists and shoulders, and getting down to the floor can be a barrier. The wall is your friend here. Find a clear section of wall. Stand facing it about an arm's length away. Place your hands on the wall slightly wider than your shoulders at about chest height. Step your feet back just a little so you are on your toes or the balls of your feet, creating a straight line from your head to your heels. Keep your core gently braced. Imagine someone is about to poke you in the stomach. Now slowly bend your elbows and lower your chest toward the wall. Keep your elbows tucked in slightly, not flared out like chicken wings. Get your nose close to the wall, pause, and then push back away until your arms are straight. This movement strengthens the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps at the back of the arms. But more importantly, the pressure traveling through your arms signals your wrist and arm bones to retain their density. Start with 10 repetitions. If it feels too easy, step your feet back a few inches to increase the angle. If it hurts your shoulders, bring your hands closer together or step closer to the wall. The beauty of this movement is its scalability. You can adjust it instantly to how you are feeling today. It turns the simple act of pushing into a medicine for your skeletal system. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Why are we doing this? We aren't doing this to compete in the Olympics. We are doing this because we want the next 10, 20, or 30 years to be filled with quality.
We want to be the ones who can join the family hike. We want to be the ones who can handle our own luggage. We want to live without the nagging fear of frailty. The magic of these 3 exercises, the sit to stand, the single leg balance, and the wall push-up, is that they cover the 3 main areas where age tries to compromise us: leg power, stability, and upper body density. And the best part? You don't need an hour. You need consistency. 5 minutes a day spread out over the morning and evening is infinitely better than a 1-hour workout you only do once a month. It is about weaving these movements into the fabric of your life until they become habits. Think of your body as a house. You have lived in it a long time. It has served you well. But like any house, as it ages, it needs a bit more maintenance to keep the foundation solid and the structure sound. You are the caretaker of this house. These exercises are your maintenance tools. They are simple, they are safe, and they are effective. I want to leave you with a thought. There is a narrative in society that implies physical decline is inevitable, that we are meant to just become weaker as the calendar pages turn. While we cannot stop time, we have significantly more control over how we age than we are led to believe. Biology is not destiny, it is a starting point. Your muscles, even at 60, 70, or 80, retain the ability to adapt. They are waiting for a signal. They are waiting for you to challenge them just a little bit every day. When you do, they respond. They get stronger. Your balance gets sharper. Your bones get tougher. So, tomorrow morning, when you stand up from your breakfast chair, drive through your heels. When you are brushing your teeth, try standing on one leg. When you walk past a blank wall, give me 5 solid wall push-ups. It might feel small, almost insignificant in the moment, but these small deposits into your physical bank account add up to a fortune of independence. You have the knowledge now. You understand the why and the how. The rest is simply making the choice to move with intention. Trust your body, treat it with respect, and it will carry you strongly through the wonderful years ahead.